Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Deadly Premonition 2, A Blessing in Disguise on Nintendo Switch. It's catnip. Actually, I have a cat that likes catnip. My previous animals didn't, so it's kind of weird. Alright, what are we doing? Anaconda skins. Press white guarana. Anaconda skins in the park. Alright, I have to figure out what. That's the discovery site. Here, I guess? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really tell you anything.
Hey Zach, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the San Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot hand. And Lady Luck's given us far more favor than she ever has before. We just happened to hear news about Lisa's murder while sitting in a bar during our vacation in New Orleans. That certainly wouldn't have happened if we had stayed in D.C. They would have given the case to another special agent, or maybe even to the state, and then we never would have found it. In the end, we would have been shut up in that vast, desolate evidence vault along with all the other cases, marked by nothing but a first-degree murder tag, buried in a soggy grave at the bottom of a sea of data. That would have been its fate. Instead, it traveled from person to person until it finally fell right into our lap. Things always work out that way for us. We've traveled all over the United States trying to track down San Rouge. We can't let this chance pass us by, can we, Zach? We need to find some sort of clue before this southern sun melts it all away. Hey, Zach. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that. Were you thinking about Galena, too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states? Zach, I'm right, aren't I? This is a vast country. Incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed of mountains, deserts, and farmland. Small towns scattered about here and there. That's how America looks to me. Compared to the scale of this entire country, New York, Chicago, and L.A. are all microscopic. Sometimes they even feel like figments of my imagination. Think back to what Las Vegas looked like when we were driving up I-15. It was a mirage. The TV and movies dress up those mirages and broadcast them to people all around the world. Meanwhile, American women become fascinated by the gorgeous city lights and are drawn toward those illusions. The very same women who were chosen as prom queens in their small towns. In the end, all they find are ghosts. Once their eyes adjust to that blinding light, they realize there's nothing but vanity and lust surrounding them. They finally figure out that it was all in their heads. Then they quickly try to satisfy themselves with something else. Drugs. And drugs are the gateway to a whole pantheon of crime. Zach, remember what you told me once? The women who turn to crime aren't the evil ones. The drugs aren't evil either. They're nothing but chemicals. The ones who feed off those women and use them. They're the ones to hate. Let's go, Zach. We need to find the person who's hiding behind Galena. Drag them out into the blazing southern sun. Did you notice it yet? The streets in New Orleans were a mess. All busted up and undergoing maintenance. The city was built on a swamp, so the ground is soft.
Memorial Oak Street. Is there anything else to worry about? Is it here? I just don't know where it is. I don't know where I'm supposed to get this stuff. Really, I haven't seen any snakes. I've seen dogs and I've seen chipmunks.
Hey, Zach, it looks
Alligators.
like we're right on the money. Tracing the San Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot...
Anaconda skins. Alligators aren't going to give me anaconda skins. I wouldn't think so, at least.
Were you thinking about Galena, too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states? Zach, I'm right, aren't I? This is a vast country. Incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed of mountains, deserts, and farmland, with small towns scattered about here and there. That's how America looks to me. Compared to the scale of this entire country, New York, Chicago,
Well, let's look it up,
LA
or
are
otherwise I'm
all
gonna be
microscopic. Sometimes they
skating
even
all
feel
around
like
with no idea where to
figments of our
go.
imagination. Think back to what Las Vegas looked like when we were driving up I-15. It was a mirage. But TV and movies dress up those mirages and broadcast them to people all around the world. Meanwhile, American women become fascinated by the gorgeous city lights and are drawn toward those illusions. The very same women who were chosen as prom queens in their small towns. In the end, all they find are ghosts. Once their eyes adjust to that blinding light, they realize there's nothing but vanity and lust surrounding them. They finally figure out that it was all in their heads. Then they quickly try to satisfy themselves with something else. Drugs. And drugs are the gateway to a whole pantheon of crime. Zach, remember what you told me once? The women who turn to crime aren't the evil ones. The drugs aren't evil either. They're nothing but chemicals. The ones who feed off those women and use them. They're the ones to hate. Let's go, Zach. We need to find the person who's hiding behind Galena and drag them out into the blazing southern sun.
I mean, I haven't even got one anaconda skin.
If this town has a symbol, it's got to be that bridge hanging over the bayou.
I mean, is it going to be here? I just don't know. Okay. So it's kind of where I thought it would be, around here somewhere. But it's like not actually marked as a park, you know? It's sort of hard to figure out that that's what it is. Got more UFOs. Take that, alien invader. Too far, huh? Alright, well. across the bridge.
If this town has a symbol, it's got to be that bridge hanging over the bayou. Lift bridges are truly a rarity. Reminds me of Duluth, Minnesota. Remember what happened there? That man went to such great lengths to collect his victims' tongues. You know, the one who would French kiss them every day as they slowly decomposed. As I drove him to the station after his arrest, he started lecturing me on the proper way to give someone a kiss. Anyway, back to Duluth. They have a famous lift bridge there called the Aerial Lift Bridge. The lift bridge here is the first one we've seen since
Has heavily chapped lips.
but this one looks a
Summer
lot
just kills me.
smaller than the aerial lift bridge.
No matter how much
Its
water
smaller size was
I
most
drink.
likely chosen due to the width of the river and the sea level of this area. The height and structure of a bridge is what determines which sort of boats can travel down the river. Normal bridges' base heights are set at a higher point so that boats can freely pass underneath them. But I imagine it would be difficult to create a bridge with a large arch here due to the river width and the sea level. That's why we're seeing all these mobile bridges, such as lift bridges and drawbridges around here. As far as Louisiana goes, it appears that they've built mobile bridges over most of the bayous. Fascinating, isn't it, Zach? So many different types of bridges. I'm curious to learn even more about bridges now. Let's do some detailed research next time we get the chance. Did you notice it yet? The streets in New Orleans were a mess, all busted up and undergoing maintenance. The city was built on a swamp, so the ground is soft. All it takes is some heavy rain to cave it all in. There were also a lot of places where large tree roots were pushing up parts of the asphalt and the sidewalk. Those bumps were dangerous even when we still had our car, remember? But this town is different. The streets are all paved so cleanly that we can skate along them without a care in the world. And there's hardly any trash or graffiti to be found anywhere. The Clarksons truly do control this place, for better or worse. It's a good example of how allowing certain people to rise to power can have positive effects as well. Also, don't you find that Southern people are remarkably friendly, even to total strangers? Both here and in New Orleans, I've been amazed at how cordial everyone is. Is it just the way things are down here? You certainly don't see that sort of thing in New York or D.C. They never stop to chit-chat, especially when ordering food. They only say what's necessary, without any decoration. A customer only makes eye contact with the waiter about once every 3 times they interact. But that's just how it is. Isn't that right, Zach? The human relationships here are as fluid as...
Okay, so this is apparently the park, or close enough to it. And I guess the items are just lying around, so we just have to pick them up as soon as we see them. Okay. There's the church. This is the church, so I think I'm going in the right general direction.
If this town has a symbol, it's got to be that bridge hanging over the bayou. Lift bridges are truly a rarity. Reminds me of Duluth, Minnesota. Remember what happened there? That man went to such great lengths to collect his victims' tongues. You know, the one who would French kiss them every day as they slowly decomposed. As I drove him to the station after his arrest, he started lecturing me on the proper way to give someone a kiss. Anyway, back to Duluth. They have a famous lift bridge there called the Aerial Lift Bridge. The lift bridge here is the first one we've seen since then, but this one looks a lot smaller than the Aerial Lift Bridge. Its smaller size was most likely chosen due to the width of the river and the sea level of this area. The height and structure of a bridge is what determines which sort of boats can travel down the river. Normal bridges' base heights are set at a higher point so that boats can freely pass underneath them. but I imagine it would be difficult to create a bridge with a large arch here due to the river width and the sea.
How are they?
That's why we're seeing all these mobile bridges, such as lift bridges and drawbridges around here. As far as Louisiana goes, it appears that they've built mobile bridges over most of the bayous. Fascinating, isn't it, Zach? So many different types of bridges. I'm curious to learn even more about bridges now. Let's do some detailed research next time we get the chance. This town sure is peaceful, Zach. Yes, I know. I know what you're about to say. But that's why we're here. To protect this peace. Isn't that right, Zach?
Is this really it? Yeah. I mean, this is supposed to be it. I don't see nothing over here, though. I see squirrels.
Hey, want to talk about bridges?
Where's my skateboard? No, 98%.
This is the deep south. I feel it every time that molten hot sun pours down on me. Don't you, Zach?
Oh, uh-oh. Bees. Bees! Any bug spray? I suppose I can shoot the bees, can I? Oh, you can. That's hilarious. Garbage can, maybe? Is it truly random? Oh, I really suck. I mean, you need 6 of them. And you can only run so fast and so far. Chick relief. A plate.
Zach, how about we grab a bite to eat? Not even I can think straight on an empty stomach.
I have just the thing. It's everything except for what I need. Guess they're rightfully upset that I just, destroyed their home. Lizard head. I mean, I'm getting closer. I don't even know why you would just find these just walking around in a park. Would they be in the cemetery, maybe? No, they're supposed to be in the park. Do I need to trigger a quest then? Maybe that's the thing. I need to trigger a quest. I think I didn't take that quest, actually, if I remember right. Alright, well. I know where it is. It's just a matter of getting the items to show up now.
Zach, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot hand, and Lady Luck's given us far more favor than she ever has before. We just happened to hear news about Lisa's murder while sitting in a bar during our vacation in New Orleans. That certainly wouldn't have happened if we had stayed in D.C. They would have given the case to another special agent, or maybe even to the state, and then we never would have found it. In the end, it would have been shut up in that vast, desolate evidence vault along with all the other cases, marked by nothing but a first-degree murder tag, buried in a soggy...
Alright, I need to go to the police station for that, right? Okay. It's this way instead. Confusing. I don't know how you would have just stumbled onto this. Defeat one killer bee. One wild dog. Alligator. I don't have that quest. Is there a place you get a quest for that? They only appear at night. Like I said, this is why I hate day and night cycles in games. It's more busy work than a good gameplay feature, you know, 9 times out of 10.
Okay, hold on.
Does it sell cigarettes too? No? Yeah, there we go.
You ever need anything? You just come on by, Mr. York.
That I can't even get the trigger. Lemon rice, voodoo charm. Got squirrel tails. Pressed white guarana. Anaconda skins. That's the one I want. Okay. Back to the park. Run a little time.
So, what do you think of him? Yes, I'm talking about him. Audap. Is the skeletal gentleman friend or foe? Or does he merely exist outside the realms of Uther? Still too early to tell. But it's clear that he'll be the key to uncovering this case's mysteries. That's what my soul tells me.
Oh, 99%. Somehow my percentage point went up.
Hey, Zach, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot hand, and Lady Luck's given us far more favor than she ever has before. We just happened to hear news about Lisa's murder while sitting in a bar during our vacation in New Orleans. That certainly wouldn't have happened if we had stayed in D.C. They would have given the case to another special agent, or maybe even to the state, and then we never would have found it. In the end, it would have been shut up in that vast, desolate evidence vault along with all the other cases, marked by nothing but a first-degree murder tag, buried in a soggy grave at the bottom of a sea.
Ooh, I got one.
Found it, Zach.
One.
An anaconda skin. And freshly shed from the looks of it. Now, let's get a move on before we run into its former owner. What do you think God wants with something like this anyway?
Alright, I need 6. That's right. There's just gonna be a line around here somewhere. I cross my fingers and hope they spawn.
Hey, Zach. Remember this movie? 1997, directed by Luis Loza. Anaconda. The movie where the famous John Voight goes crazy with a rifle. Jennifer Lopez. Eric Stoltz. Even Owen Wilson and Ice Cube were in it. Is that an all-star cast or what? The scene in the beginning where Danny Trejo climbs up a ladder with a pistol in one hand is a must-see. It stole my heart within the first 5 minutes. Okay, back to the real world. We're on an important mission right now, aren't we?
Ah, okay, good. Thankfully you don't say poison for that. Not really that long. Are they just anywhere? Are they near where the bees are? I have no idea how it spawns them. Just does it when it feels like it, I guess. You'd figure they'd show up with more frequency. Considering that you need so many of them. There we go. Yeah, Patty, help me look. Whoops. There's some busy bees, man. It doesn't take them very long to build their nest again. Come on, game. You are killing me.
It really seemed like you knew who Galena Clarkson was.
Well, I've never actually talked to her.
You didn't even twitch when you saw Galena's body.
Why would I? Dead things can't hurt us, right?
Girls your age don't usually think that way.
Do you have kids, Agent York?
No, I don't. I'm not married either.
Then you have no idea how girls my age usually think. Besides, I'm used to seeing dead bodies thanks to CSI. Especially dismembered corpses like hers. You know...
Alright, you were saying?
What else have you seen on that sci-fi movie channel?
Agent York, why are you asking me that?
Discussing movies is one of the most basic forms of communication in our country.
What time period do you live in?
It's always been that way in every era. In this country, all dialogues always begin from films.
Ugh. Says who? You're making me sick.
Sick?
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna puke.
I know just what you need to do, Patty.
What?
Tell me what other movies you've seen on that sci-fi channel.
Ugh. You're...
Ah, funny. Oh, it's too bad that picking up something stops the conversation.
Okay, Patty. I'm going to try asking you that question again. What do you do when you're at home?
I watch TV and look up stuff on the internet, I guess. Ain't much else to do when you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Really? For some reason, I envisioned you working hard to take care of all the chores around the house.
Well, of course I do stuff like that, too. But doesn't everyone? Why bother talking about it?
Other kids your age don't help out their parents. They're too busy talking with their friends on the phone or through emails.
That's stupid. I don't get why everyone's so obsessed with taking pictures of themselves. Then they send them to their friends just to get approval? Talk about cringeworthy.
How do you prefer to boost your self-esteem, then?
I don't need to. I have my family. And besides, my daddy's the town sheriff. All I need to be happy is a normal life.
That's awfully mature of you.
Everyone else is just childish. I'm totally normal.
Okay, then. So what do you do after you finish all your chores? You don't turn on CNN and pour yourself some bourbon, do you?
CNN? That's kid stuff. What I watch is way more adult than that.
Like what? Live sports?
You just don't get it, Agent York. Full House, Friends, Beverly Hills 90210, sitcoms. Sitcoms are an all-in-one package. Dreams, love, life lessons, science fiction. They've got everything you'd ever want. And some cable channels just show reruns all day long. It's the best. Oh, but my favorite TV show is this old one called MacGyver. The main character is cute and smart. I don't know his real name, but I like him.
Be careful of those things. I don't get poisoned again. Well, honestly, this is the last thing you want to do. You actually want to avoid getting stung. Details in this game, yeah. Oh, whoop, whoop, whoop. Ah, damn it. Can't see it from there.
You didn't even twitch when you saw Galena's body.
Why would I? Dead things can't hurt us, right?
Girls your age don't usually think that way.
Do you have kids, Agent York?
No, I don't. I'm not married either.
Then you have no idea how girls my age usually think. Besides, I'm used to seeing dead bodies thanks to CSI. Especially dismembered corpses like hers. You know, for a so-called profiling professional, you're pretty clueless.
In that case, allow me to apologize. But don't you think it's a bit of a leap to discount my observational abilities simply because corpses don't scare you?
I don't know. I mean, you're completely wrong.
Do you know what I was thinking back there then?
Of course not. I'm not a pro.
The same goes for me, Patty. No manner of pro could ever know 100% of what another person is thinking. Unless, of course, that pro has a mental connection with them, like Zack and I have. If I was telepathic, I wouldn't have joined the FBI. I would have taken over a small country or become a messiah.
Now who's making crazy leaps?
I will admit, though, Patty, I feel like you and I have something in common. We definitely have similar...
Is that it?
About 3 years ago, I met a man who had a pair of anaconda skin shoes. He said they were a trophy from a snake he hunted and skinned all by himself. Could you kill something and then wear its skin? I couldn't. No thanks. I fail to see any difference between that and a crazed murderer who carries pieces of his victims home with him.
It's a little different.
Zack, I never knew that following oracles was such backbreaking work. I really needed this cigarette. I think I'm on the verge of losing my mind. Now we just need to find one pressed white Gora. He was very clear that it had to be pressed. Do they sell pressed flowers in stores here? I think I'm stumped, Zack. Perhaps we better go ask our well-informed concierge for help.
Yeah, you can. You know, it's funny, I actually don't really mind traveling on the slow-ass skateboard. I just don't want to use the car service because it has to load another location. It's like, yeah, I'd rather just skate there so I don't have to look at a loading screen. I'm hopeful that they're going to patch this game.
Hey, want to talk about bridges? Why? I've become obsessed with bridges, Zack, and there's no turning back now. Remember what we saw on our way here?
Though they had
Back when we
previously
were
said they
driving that
don't
hybrid car
intend
before
to
we
patch it
switched
for
over to the
performance
skateboard.
reasons,
We
so
passed over the Lake
I'm hoping to change their mind on that.
Causeway, the longest bridge over water in the entire world. Remember the sudden downpour that made it impossible for us to see the road? The rain was so torrential that we couldn't see more than a few miles ahead of us. I'm sure local drivers are used to that sort of thing. They were all going normal speeds. I bet that scene reminded you of a certain film, or perhaps a certain person. Violent City, 1970, directed by Sergio Salimi. I only ever...
Oh, boy, that portion just took way longer than it should have. It seemed like they were like missing a piece of like a marker for that quest. To me, that seems more like just an oversight than a bug. Maybe they thought
Okay,
we
Zack,
were going to ride around that park
let's go
before.
talk to our concierge. It'd be impossible for us to find a white Gora all on our own in such a vast area.
Welcome back, Mr. Morgan, sir.
Hello there, concierge. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
How may I help you, Mr. Morgan?
I'm in need of a pressed white Gora. Do you know of a store where I could find one?
The Lord hungers?
Correct.
Jolly good, sir. In that case, please ask our bellboy. His hobby is pressing flowers, so I'm sure he'll be able to assist you. Very good, sir. Please, come right this way. Serving you is my... Please do let...
Oh, are you the bellboy there?
Mr. Morgan, did you find the pressed flower?
No, not yet.
Very well. In that case, please speak with our bellboy. I'm sure he'll be able to help you, sir.
Okay. Which one of these triggers the bellboy? Is it this one? I'll be back in a jiffy. If you're in a hurry, head over to the chef.
And that's what I'm talking about. You can't get fine eating like this at any of those diners out there. So make sure you enjoy it.
Oh, I'm a little hungry, yeah.
Thanks, mister. Next time you get a hank...
Oh, okay. I'll tuck them over here.
Got a minute, Chef?
What is it, mister? I got my hands full here.
Do you know where I might find a pressed white Gora?
Now, what did I tell you? I'm a professional chef. I don't flap my gums about any old thing. If you want to know about the town, you best ask our concierge.
Oh, man. I'm presently engaged in other business right now. Please speak to the bellboy if you happen to be in a hurry. There you are.
May I ask you a question?
Sure, boss. What's cracking?
I need to find a pressed white Gora.
You like flowers, boss?
Well, not exactly, but it's the will of God.
The Lord hungers, huh?
Excellent, David. Way to cut right to the chase. Do you know where I might find one?
Sorry, boss. We only have one white Gora bush in our garden. Yep.
What's the problem?
Well, yesterday I picked them all and pressed them, see?
That's perfect. Would you mind giving one to me?
Sorry, boss. No can do.
What do you mean?
I used all the pressed flowers I made to decorate a very special spot, see?
What spot?
The bedroom on the first floor.
The bathroom.
Yes, sirree. So, I don't have a single pressed flower left now.
Well then, I'll just go and grab one from the bathroom.
I wouldn't do that if I were you, boss. Taking a pressed flower from a bathroom into church? Jesus ain't gonna like that. Sorry, but it looks like you're all out of luck, boss.
Oh, Jesus, you know, hung out with some trashy people. I think he won't mind.
Zach. Deep South.
Nice bathroom, huh?
The white Gora, also known as the whirling butterfly. They certainly look just as beautiful as one. Never thought I'd ever have to pick a flower from a bathroom and deliver it to a church. But he left us no choice. Did he, Zach? God himself commanded us to carry out this very act. Therefore, I'm simply doing as I'm told. We never get to engage in adventures like these while living in the city, do we, Zach? No, the cases of the city are honestly quite boring. Who wants to fish through the garbage for a missing corpse's genitals? Or chase a stray bullet that got lodged into a moving taxi? Talk about stupid. And usually it's all just a formality so that we can accuse a criminal who's been obviously guilty since day one. If I have to search for something, I'd much rather search for something out here. It's just so much more dramatic. This is the countryside, and it's sensational. You know what I mean, don't you, Zach?
Wait, can I expect the pipes here? Am I still not able to do that quest? Oh, man.
I sincerely hope you're having a comfortable stay, Mr. Morgan, sir.
Good day, sir. I assume you are enjoying the esteemed water pressure of our hotel. Unfortunately, it seems like the shower in my room is broken. I'm deeply sorry to hear that, Mr. Morgan. I'll call a specialist and have this matter sorted immediately. How long will it take them to get here? Well, I'm certain they'll be here by next week. Next week? Yes, sir, by next week, without a doubt. Our hotel was built over 200 years ago, in a very classical way, I might add. Therefore, any manner of repairs or adjustments will require a very elite type of specialist. So, I have to wait until next week for you to repair my shower? Indeed, sir. Can't you just put me in a different room? All rooms in our hotel share the same source of water. Are there any other hotels in town? Our hotel is the only one in the Carré capable of offering you a comfortable stay, sir. But if you're in a bit of a hurry, you might be able to adjust the water valve on the third floor next to the kitchen. Please let me know if there is anything else I may do to be of service, Mr. Morgan, sir. He wants me to adjust the water valve on the third floor on my own. Zach, is this a nightmare? Well, I mean, generally, York is only involved in nightmares. So, yes, probably. Alright, why don't we stop it there? This is audapostrophe. You've been watching Deadly Premonition 2 on Nintendo Switch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.